Happy Friday! Welcome to this week's Great British live stream. For those of you who are new, my name is TJ and I stream UK domestic flights every Friday at 1 PM UTC. Today we're flying a 737 out of London City Airport and heading up north to Leeds Bradford. This airport is known for its crosswinds and we're landing manually, so I'm looking forward to it. Let's jump inside the plane and start her up. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to get our battery on, and then we will need to grab our standby power right here. Okay, let's get this ground power on. We need to set our fuel and our weight here. So we'll go to advanced, we will go to fuel and CG. The payloads we will want is 17. Let's get these cleared out. 17. And the fuel we will want is 5.8. So that's all set in there. Let's just pop up here and let's get our window heat 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's get the trim air on. Let's get our packs off. Left pack, right pack. Let's get these down. Let's get these on. Switch our first fuel pump on. We need to align our IRS, so we'll go nav and nav. There we go. We'll pop down to our flight computer. We will go init ref. We're going to grab our current position and we're going to pop that in there so the plane knows where it is. We'll now need to start our APU, ready to get our engines fired up. So I'll hold this down for about 3 seconds. There we go, until that light comes on. While the APU is starting up, let's take a look at this Zibo 737-800 for X-Plane 11 with the little ground vehicles around it, thanks to Jar Design's ground handling deluxe package, which is pretty cool. Of course, in the background there, as we saw when the stream started, we've got the London skyline because we are at London City. Okay, almost there with the APU. It's fine. Just admire some more scenery. Let's take a look at this flight deck here. So it's quite different to the Airbus that we've been flying for the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to talk some more about the differences between the Airbus and the Boeings just once we get into the air. So there we go, APU is on. Switch 1, switch 2. Let's get this APU bleed switch down and turn our ground power off now. Get the other fuel tanks on. Just going to check if we have any fuel in our center tank. We don't, so we don't need that fuel pump on at all. Let's get our engine electrics on there. Let's flick that switch. Okay, we're going to go down here and we are going to program in our route. So we're going from EGLC, London City, going to EGNM. We are going to Leeds. Our flight number is Ryanair 1103. We'll just get that in there. Okay, so we need to pick our departure from London City. The way the weather is at the moment, we're going from runway 27 and we are taking Brookman's Park 1 Alpha. So let's go route, activate, execute that. So we've got our route in there down to Brookman's Park. From there we are taking an airway, we're taking N601. We are taking that to Leicester, L-E-S-T-A. There we go. From Leicester we're going to Trent, and it's that one right there. From Trent we're going to Denbigh. Going direct there, and it's that one. So press execute. From Denbigh we need our arrival into Leeds. So apparently runway 32 is currently in use. So we're going to take that and we're going to pick the LBA transition. Execute that. Okay, so let's just head down to our legs page here. I'm just going to clear out this gap in our flight plan here. There we go. Okay, so that is the flight plan taken care of. Let's go to our init ref. We're going to hit this. Tell the aircraft we have no reserves. Our cost index today is 38. Cruising altitude is 240. The winds at cruise from 216 degrees, and they are at 44 knots. Our ISO-dev, our temperature at the top of climb is -25 degrees. We will execute that. Okay, let's go over to our M1 limit, get our outside air temperature in there. Now go to takeoff. Flaps will be set to 5. Get our center of gravity programmed in there and get our V speeds on these screens. Excellent. So it is time to see if we have any air traffic control online today. We have Gatwick, Essex approach, Stansted, but nobody we need to worry about at the moment, so we'll hide that. And if somebody comes online, they will ask us to contact them. So we've tuned our radios to the universal frequency. Alright, here we go. So it is now time to get these engines started. So we'll get engine number 2 over to ground. We need to watch the values rising here. Once this gets to about 16, we can introduce fuel to our right hand engine. So 15, 16. Okay, let's get fuel in the engine. There we are. And we will see our right engine just starting up over here. So once we've got a good start on engine number 2, we'll do the same for engine number 1. Okay, good start on 2. Let's get 1 started up here. There we are. We've got fuel going into engine number 1. We did that a little bit early, but it's fine. It will start all the same. There we are, and we see that value rise really rapidly as our engine number 1 starts up just over here. So once our, that's quite a nice, that's a nice view of the plane there. So once our engines have started here, we've got 2 good starts, fantastic. We'll transfer power over from the APU, we'll take power from the engines now. We can flick that bleed switch. Get these switches down here. Let's get our packs over to auto. Let's get the air for air conditioning, not to start the engines anymore. APU goes off, your damper goes on. Let's get our emergency lights on, and let's grab some lights here. We'll just get these ones on. Excellent. So for our autopilots to work, we need our flight directors to be switched on. So FD1, FD2 there. Our radios will need to tune in the ILS frequency for Leeds Bradford, and that is 110.90, 10, 70, 85, 90, and we'll need to do that on this side over here as well. 10 and 90, so that's our ILS for Leeds Bradford tuned in on both sides there. The course we'll want at Leeds Bradford for runway 32 is 317. Probably makes sense to go this way. 2, 6, 7, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll pop over here and we'll set the course on the first officer side as well. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that should mean our landing system will work just fine. So let's set our takeoff trim 4.75. That's that one done, and get this cleared out. We'll get our bank angle over to max. And on this side, I set the heading, not the course. There we go. It's 317. Let's get that in there. We'll just check it on that side. Yeah, cool. So our courses are set. We need to set our altimeters, so we need to tell the plane the height it is at. So the altimeter at London City is 1023. So we'll just get this dialed in here. 212223, and we'll repeat the thing on the first officer's side as well. So let's go 23. The startup in the Boeings is a much longer process than it is in the Airbus. but you have a lot less to do once you are actually in the air. We're going to set our identifier here. 6002 is just fine. We'll get our TCAS on, that will tell us if there's any traffic around here. We need to set our decision height over here. So we're going to set that to 150 feet for Leeds Bradford. 2, 3, 4, 9, 150. Excellent. Let's grab some radars over here. We really only need weather, terrain, and our airports, and I'll also want to see our progress as well. In the Boeings, you need to set the cabin altitude. So we'll set this to 24,000. We need to flick these probe switches here, get some heat into the probes. We need to set our initial speed to our V2, which is 146. Auto brake to rejected takeoff. Cruising altitude into our control panel here. 21, 22, 23, 24, 24,000 feet. Go LNAV, VNAV. Get our flaps set to 1. And we can flick our auto throttles, get those armed. Okay, so we're going to need to taxi to the runway here. So we'll pull up our airport maps. There we go. All we're doing is, because we're taking off from 27 today, is we're going to taxi down Echo, so London traffic, taxiing via Echo, then we're going back down 27 and then lining up, then backtrack 27. Cool. Okay, so with that, guys, we are set. Let's go. Let's head to the runway at London City Airport. So last week we flew an Airbus into London City, which was quite a hard landing, but we made it in all the same. This week we're flying a 737 out of London City, and we're going to take that up to Leeds Bradford up north. Okay, just make sure that's following my plane. Happy days. Okay. So once we get in the air today, we're talking a bit about how the Boeing compares to the Airbus. I'll be letting you guys know how you can track our flight today, tell you a little bit about the scenery, and just a few more bits about aviation and flying planes. So what we'll do is we're going to head off the runway just here, take the right turn, there we are, lovely. Take a right turn off here, guys. And we'll turn ourselves round so we're facing the right direction for our takeoff. Going to need to use as much runway as possible here because it's quite a heavy plane and quite a small runway. So we're going to head all the way here to this hold, and we'll just let the traffic know we are departing. Okay, let's coast down to here. There we go. Traffic departing 27. Okay, we're good to go. Let's get out here to the runway. We can get rid of this. Get the plane turned round, and we'll be on our way to Leeds. Very exciting. Conditions today are not too bad. Should be fairly calm all the way. But again, Leeds could be a pretty interesting experience, because it always is, guys. It always is. Okay, let's get ourselves lined up with the runway here, London City. There we go. Just a little bit left, little bit left, little bit left. Okay, throttles are set. We can go M1. We're leaving London, guys.
80 knots. V1, rotate.
Okay, here we go. Let's get our nose up to about 15 degrees or so. We are climbing. Just get this gear up. Okay, we can put the autopilot on at about 400 feet, but for the moment we are hand flying the plane.
400.
400. Okay, I'm going to drop that. I'm going to hit autopilot here. Excellent. Let's get these flaps up. Let's get this auto brake over to max. We'll get our spoilers to armed for landing.
1000.
Going to pop some anti-ice on here just in case it gets a little bit chilly out there. Okay, and as we climb out of London City, we can take in the views over the wings, over the edge of the plane, until it's time to switch our altimeter over to the standard pressure, above 5,000 feet or so. But I think for now, we're just going to take in the scenery from this side of the plane, because I think we've got a fairly long altitude restriction coming out of London City here at about 3,000 feet before we can continue climbing. Okay, so as we hit that restriction there, I'll just pop this out to 20 miles or so we can see a little bit more on our navigation display. There we are. So as we take in some of this scenery, the 737 we're flying today is a completely different plane to the Airbus. The Airbus we flew, the A319, is a much more modern aircraft. It's much more sort of technologically developed. The 737 originates from about 30 or 40 years ago, the early models, and this version, the 737-800, is largely based on those older planes. The reason for that is that pilots need to keep their familiarity, their type rating with the aircraft. So as the aircraft updates, they don't want to have to relearn a whole new plane, so the changes are kept minimal. What that means is that you've got a lot of sort of old legacy stuff in the 737s, whereas in the Airbus everything is completely modern. You've got the fly-by-wire system in the Airbus and all those fancy computers that make it much easier to fly. But the systems in the 737 are still pretty good. We've still got a full autopilot. We've still got our flight computer. It can auto land itself. Not quite as well as the Airbus in the simulator, but it can still auto land itself. So it's still got all those sort of shiny features. Jay, hello! How are you doing? Welcome. I saw you in my last stream, didn't I? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here again, man. I hope you're enjoying what you're watching today. We're taking the 737 from London into Leeds today. So we've just got this altitude restriction here for a little bit until we hit our Brookman's Park waypoint, and then we'll be able to continue our climb up to 24,000 feet here, guys. See if we can see this traffic off the other side of our aircraft. Apparently there's someone down there about 1,400 feet below us, so they must be at about 1,500 feet. I can't see them at the moment there. Atul, hello! How are you doing, my friend? Welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. Thank you for watching last week, and thank you for watching this week as well. As we go to Leeds here today, we're just cruising at 3,000 feet over the Essex countryside, and we're about to continue our climb up to 24,000. I hope you're having a wonderful day, Atul and Jay. I do hope you're enjoying your days, guys, and I hope you enjoy the content today. Thank you. So Heathrow is currently a fairly busy airport at the moment, but there's no controllers on there. But like I say, as usual, if and when a controller comes online, they'll ask us to contact them, and we will say hello, and then they can guide us to Leeds. Lala Quinn, hello from sunny Bristol. How you doing? Good to see you here. Weather in London here doesn't seem too bad at the moment. Seems fairly decent, so you know, we'll take that. We'll take the sunshine while we can get it. It's not been a fantastic temperature recently, but it is improving here. Okay, so we've got some nice flat fields here, as in most of the UK. The scenery is largely flat, but we've got some hills, some moors, that kind of thing, as we fly into Leeds today. Leeds Bradford Airport is just on a hill, so we'll fly in over the moors as we approach the airport. So we're just climbing out here now, 3,200 feet from Brickman's Park, on our way up to our cruise here. Everybody, if you want to track the flight today, you can do that. If you type !track in the chat, you'll get a thing to search for on the Battleware website. Nightbot will tell you what to do. Type in track, and Nightbot will tell you how to track our flight on a little map, so you can see where over the UK we are today. We've also got some nice scenery coming up in Leeds. So we've got Leeds landmarks, and of course we've got custom scenery for the airport as well. So if you are familiar with the area, you should be able to see something you recognise as we get these altimeters over to standard pressure. Essex approach is telling us to stop our climb at flight level 080, flight level 8000. I'm going to tune my radio to his frequency as well here. Okay, Essex approach is 120.62. Let's get him tuned in. 120. That's 120. 65432 120.62. We'll just tune to Essex approach now. There we go. Essex approach, good afternoon. Ryanair 1103, got your message. Staying at flight level 80 until breathe out of your airspace, or you say otherwise.
Ryanair 1103, Essex radar. Hello. Yeah, that was just traffic. Very good clear now.
Continue climb, monitor Unicom. Thank you, Ryanair 1103. Okay, we're cleared to continue our climb here, guys, so we'll get this back up to 24,000 feet. 3, 4, 9, 24,000. We'll pop the out intervention switch here, so it will let us climb, which is that button there. And we'll resume our climb. We'll get our radios back to the universal frequency. That was busy, wasn't it? There we go. Okay, as we now continue our climb up to 24,000 feet, we can also hide this list of controllers here because we don't need that. Cool. Guys, while you're watching, as we're just climbing out, any questions you have about planes, about the stream, about anything, just throw them into chat and I'll answer them for you guys. Hopefully, you know, I can continue to teach you guys about planes. We'll pick up some new viewers along the way. Maybe teach people how to fly and inspire them to fly some planes in Flight Simulator themselves. It's Jay. I don't know where Jay Train Fan lives, but I live in Wales. I live in Wales in yeah, rainy rainy Wales, the city that never dries. The cool thing about this plane here is we can pop back to the cabin. We've got we've actually got a full cabin here, so we can take in some wing views out of the window as our passengers would see here. Look at that lovely Ryanair cabin in this aircraft, guys. Isn't it a beautiful dirty yellow colour? Nice. Okay. So this is our seat, guys. This is our seat for the flight. It's quite strange sitting in the passenger seat watching the plane that you're flying. I might forget, but I actually have to fly this plane in a minute. But for now, I'm enjoying the views. Very much enjoying the views out of the windows here today, guys. So at Leeds, like I said earlier, Leeds is known for its crosswinds. So that means you generally get some winds that flow across the nose of the aircraft. It means you always makes for quite an interesting. There we go. I think the sim was just loading in some scenery there, guys. I think we were just loading in some scenery, but it should all be good right now, hopefully. We'll pop back out here for some more views. Okay, so we are at we're at about 17,000 feet here. We are almost at 24,000 feet here, guys. When we continue, we'll continue our journey over to Leeds. I'm not sure if the stream slowed down a little bit there for you guys, but if it did, my apologies. We seem to be back to normal now. I've made a lot of improvements to the stream in terms of reliability and speed, but it's possible we'll still get the odd hiccup as I sort of still learn how to stream. What music am I playing? Music I'm playing is just from a YouTube music library, so it's available on YouTube. You can just go to the music library and you can sort of download any of the music there, or listen to it, or use it in your own streams. At all, we're currently at 271 knots. I think Fly Live up there at the top of the screen should be working. So our actual speed across the ground is 362 knots, but our indicated airspeed, because indicated airspeed changes sort of the higher up you go, our indicated airspeed is 271 knots. So remember guys, at Leeds we're going to try and land the plane manually, which could make for a fairly interesting experience in the crosswinds. But we're going to follow the ILS down to the runway, and then sort of the last 100 feet or so we'll take over, and we will land the plane ourselves today, guys. Don't forget, you've got those, if you need them, you've got those Nightbot chat commands. So if you type ! in the chat followed by one of the commands, Nightbot will tell you some more about the flight, and we'll tell you some more about the scenery and that sort of thing if you'd like to know. Also guys, if you like what you're seeing at the moment, please drop us a like. If you want to see more of this content, please subscribe. A little alert should come up in the corner of the screen every time somebody subscribes. So likes and subscriptions are always most welcome as we try and grow this audience, grow this channel, guys. Okay, so we are now just coming up to 24,000 feet here. Once we've leveled off, we will need to set our final height for our approach into Leeds Bradford today on our flight computer. So I'll pop down here, we'll do that, we'll go to our legs page. Our final height is going to be 1990, so we'll pop that in here. Go about 1990, there we go, 1900s. We'll pop 1900 feet in there so the aircraft is able to descend. And while we're cruising, guys, we'll pop the view out here so we can take in some scenery just below us right there, guys. This is the green and pleasant lands of the UK just below us here, guys. There we are. Lovely. It's not that long till we descend, maybe sort of 10-15 minutes. So we'll just appreciate the scenery while I tell you a little bit more about some of the flights we're going to be doing next week. Next week we are off to North Weald in Essex. That's a really small airfield, so we're going to try and land a big plane at a small airfield next week. After that, we've got a few trips abroad lined up, so we're going to go to the Himalayas. We're going to try and land on a grass airfield in the UK as well. We've got some interesting adventures coming up in our Airbus, in the 737, and we're going to take the 747, the jumbo jet, out as well over the next few weeks, guys. So enjoy the scenery until it is time for us to begin our descent. Remember, any questions, drop them in chat and I will do my best to answer them for you guys. So when we land the plane today at Leeds, I'm going to go for a nice firm landing onto the tarmac. I know a lot of flight sim streamers tend to float halfway down the runway to sort of land really smoothly. That is not, it's not really how you land a plane in real life. You want to get it down, positively and safely. So so when we land today, we are going to make a nice firm landing into Leeds Bradford, hopefully. A safe landing, most importantly, today. So if I pull up my flight tracker here today, should be able to tell you guys roughly where we are. So I think that's the sound of descent. We are almost at our top of descent here, guys. We're roughly around the Trent waypoint. So in the East Midlands, we are roughly around the East Midlands of England right now. So I'll just stay here in the flight deck while we begin our descent. There we go, we'll take the view from the nose as we start our descent here, guys, into Leeds Bradford today. It's a nice short flight. And you can see here some of the moors and some of the hills of Yorkshire are starting to appear in front of our nose here. So we make one last right turn to keep us on course. So again, this is some nice photo scenery. As always, there's photo scenery for the entire UK for these flights. Atul, yes. Last Friday, Atul was it was a very hard landing indeed. I hold my hands up to that. At London City, we did an auto land. Technically, we also landed on the wrong runway, so the landing would have been a little bit harder because we had a tailwind. The reason we took that runway was because I wanted to show you guys the scenery over the Thames as you come in for the approach. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Because of the tailwind and the auto lands last week, it was a hard landing, correct? This week I'm going for about 400 feet per minute. It's going to be firm. There will probably be a crosswind, but we should get her in around 400 feet per minute. To be honest, at London City I usually get 600 on an auto land, but the conditions were not in our favour. But we still made it down safely. You'll see at the less challenging airports the landings will be smoother. And at the more challenging airports, we're going to go to a lot of challenging airports because it's quite interesting to watch. But at the more challenging airports, yeah, the landings will be a little bit firmer for sure. They will. There we go. Let's just see the speed this aircraft wants to go. Just need to keep an eye on our speed here, guys, because when it gets to 250 knots, we're going to need to put our landing gear down. And we'll need to start incrementing our flaps as well, just to slow the aircraft down. But comfortably holding about 270 knots here at the moment. I don't think we need to put any speed brakes or spoilers down yet. Some quite nice scenery over there to our left. These flights are all about sort of teaching you guys what buttons to press to fly a plane, sort of going on a nice flight as well, taking in some nice scenery. And here we go through 18,000 feet. So we'll pop over to our first officer's side here. There's plenty of hills and forest down there, guys. So next week, guys, we are back in the Airbus, back in the A319. But there are, like I said, there's also the 747 coming up. Thank you, Atul. I appreciate the comments there, man. Thank you very much. I will try my best. I will try my best as usual, sir. But hey, either way, it's going to be entertaining, right? Yeah, as apart from the jumbo jet, I'm also going to fly a small propeller plane at some point fairly soon as well. I've got to buy some more planes. I've got to learn how to fly those planes. In recent weeks, I've spent a lot of sort of time and money working on the stream itself, just making sure we get rid of those bugs, those crashes, make sure the frame rate is as smooth as possible for you guys, so we can grow our audience, our channel. But yes, I'm going to pick up some new planes fairly soon, and we should have a fairly good variety of stuff to fly. Haven't seen Kevin in here today. Haven't seen him chat anyway. But it'd be cool if he was to come back for some of these streams. He was quite an interesting guy, as I remember. I'll look about right turn across some moors here. And where are we going? 270 knots still. Some lovely lakes. The further up you go in England, the more interesting the scenery gets. So the south of England is quite flat, quite boring, lots of fields as we saw around London. The north of England, you start to get some hills, get some really nice lakes and scenery. And of course, once you get to Scotland, we're going to go to Inverness in a few weeks' time. As soon as you get to Scotland, you've got some proper mountains going on there as well, guys. And of course, the further up the country you go, the colder it gets as well. So we are about 18 miles from the Leeds Bradford NDB, the Leeds Bradford beacon. Just going to pop down here to our navigation display just to see the route we're taking. That looks fairly comfortable, really. We're going to decelerate fairly early. We've got a right turn, then a left onto final. Cool. Okay, the plane now wants 272 knots. Fair enough. I should be hitting 250 knot target fairly soon as well. Just roll those spoilers back to arms. You can see the pink dots there on our primary flight display. Those tell us how close we are to our flight plan. So at the moment we're at the correct altitude and the correct heading to follow our flight plan. There we go. We'll get these speed brakes on, guys, as we head towards 240 knots. Going to pop our landing gear down as well now. Once we're at 240, we can start incrementing those flaps for landing. What we also need to do is pop down to our flight computer and program in our approach speed. So we're going to have 40 degrees of flaps and we're going to be at 138 knots. There we go. Computer has the approach speed plugged in, so that's all good. Pretty sure we can roll these speed brakes back to arms now. The plane's going to start to decelerate for landing, so our flap limits are there: 250, 250, 250, 210, 200, 190. So that's fine. As soon as we hit decelerate, I'll start rolling on those flaps, guys. So we can see, I think that's the city of Leeds just below us to our left hand side there. Okay, you can see the speed drop, 250, 250, 250. So as our speed drops here, put some speed brakes on to help it out actually. Our next set of flaps goes on at 210. Conditions are not fantastic, guys. Conditions are not fantastic. So we make a right turn to this waypoint here. As soon as we hit 210 knots, we can start incrementing those flaps again. So we're heading out to that waypoint there, I believe. 210. Let's check this leg page. Yeah, we're heading out to that waypoint there. Cool. Pop back up here. Got our speed brakes armed here. New set of flaps to 200 knots, but I don't really want to do that yet. So we're still descending quite steeply. Usually when I fly into Leeds, I fly into runway 14. Because of the winds today, we're flying into 32. So I've never actually done this approach before. 190. There we go. Flip the altimeters back over. I'll just grab the weather for Leeds as well. Weather for Leeds is 1024, so I'll just pop that up one if I can. There we go, 1024, and also going to go back over the other side here, guys. 1024. Put 190, our next set of flaps, guys. We're going at 175 and 162. 175 is good. And then 162. Just make sure we can keep that airspeed under control here, guys. We're dangerously close to overspeed for the aircraft at the moment. Okay, we'll get the flaps up. See if we can get these speed brakes just armed. Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. You can see this localizer needle just start to move here. You can see the glide slope moving up. Hopefully, we'll catch the glide slope today. Okay, we're going to go localizer. Yeah, that's it. Fingers crossed, we should catch that glide slope, guys. As we are descending, and we are currently well below the glide slope. Going to wait until we are established on the localizer. So that's when the ILS has picked us up. This is intense. Okay, there we go. So we're in landing configuration. Our flaps are full. Our speed brakes are armed. Just going to come around and capture this localizer, hopefully, guys. Just going to concentrate for this bit here. Okay, so localizer over that side. Should intercept it after this turn. Does, however, say we are above the glide slope, which is never good. But hopefully, hopefully the airplane will continue to descend and we'll get back to it. Okay, we're established, guys. Let's see if we can grab that glide slope. You can do it. Okay, we're on the glide slope. We're going to arm our second autopilot here, guys. Going to pop out to the nose for our landing here. Here we go. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. So we've got the outskirts of Leeds just below us there. Atul, thank you for your best wishes, man. We are going to need those. We are going to need those today. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. It's always good when you're on the glide slope but you can't even see the airport. That's always encouraging. But visibility today actually seems okay, thankfully. So here we go. Let's see what we can do. Got some clouds up there just coming, guys. As you can see, the aircraft pitching down now to follow that glide slope. Said it's good visibility, it's just got a lot worse. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Some kind of cricket ground down there. Houses? Who knows? It's Leeds. I'm not sure I've ever been to Leeds, but I'm sure it's a nice place. Looking for that runway, guys. Looking for that runway. It's almost certainly a crosswind here. I think that's the runway up there. Okay. Can see the runway. Let's tell the traffic what we're doing. We've established 432, and we'll also tell them we're on final. Roughly around now, I would say. See, the plane nose is pointing slightly to the left. That definitely means there is a crosswind of some kind here, guys. Let's take a look at these lights. I think that's 2 red, 2 white at the moment. Fingers crossed. As the song says, you can always go around, but I'd really rather not. Really rather not today, guys. So we come in, you see the moors in the distance. Let's get this thing down, guys. Let's get it down.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
Altitude set. Excellent. Okay, 2 red, 2 white. See, we've come in, yeah, slightly low, so the plane's pitched up to compensate for it. Gonna dive. Okay, I'm gonna start flaring myself here, guys. We are high, guys, we are high. Oh, down 190 feet per minute, guys. 190 feet per minute. Got a nice float going on at the end there.
80 knots.
Let's get these reversers on now. Let's roll off the flaps. Roll off our speed brakes, guys. Welcome to Leeds Bradford. 190 feet per minute in a gnarly crosswind. That is awesome. I'm pleased with how I did there. Welcome, welcome. Okay, as one of my other favorite streamers said. Lucky we caught that float there at the end, that little bit of ground effect. Awesome, awesome, guys. Let's get off this runway. Let's get off this runway. My goodness. Okay, there we are. Right, we have arrived. Let us grab our airport visual system here. Let's go Leeds. We're gonna head for some parking here. I'd imagine the plan. Yeah, we'll just taxi. We'll just taxi here. We'll just tell the traffic. We're taxiing to parking. Nobody really cares where. All right, here we go. Let's taxi to our landing spot, guys. We made it down, we made it safely, and we made it relatively smoothly as well. Happy days all around today, guys. Awesome. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We do have to cross the runway again, but we'll just let the traffic know we are doing that. Traffic crossing 1432. There we go. So we'll get our APU started up, guys. Just hold this down. 1, 2, and 3. As we head across here. Don't believe anybody is landing from what I can see. No, nobody on final, thankfully. No controllers online. Excellent. Okay. Atul, I hope that landing impressed you more than the last one, my friends. Last week was just sort of an interesting spectacle. This week we actually got a good landing that I'm pleased with. So I hope you enjoyed that one, my friend. And I hope Jay and everybody else. I hope you guys like the landing. Remember, if you like the stream, please hit your like button, and if you want to see more, please hit subscribe, guys, for Great British flights every Friday, 1 PM UTC. So as we just park up here, guys, I think we're going to take that gate there. That gate there looks good. Stand number 6, is it? Yeah, we'll grab stand 6. That's fine. Get rid of that, we don't need it anymore. There we are, we'll pop into stand 6. Perfect. Get it lined up. Okay. Once we've parked, we've just got to do our last few bits of sort of landing procedure. And we'll do the brakes. There we go. Parking brakes on. Okay, our APU is started. We can get these over here. We can start our APU bleed. We can flick those over there. We can now switch our engines off, guys. Engine 1, engine 2. There we are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leeds Bradford Airport, and we even parked next to a fellow Ryanair. Look at that. So, as our engines shut down, guys, let us disconnect from Squawk Box and let's take in these replays over here. So, where are we there? What do we reckon? That's a little bit. Yeah, we should go a little bit further forward. A little bit further forward than that, I think. So we'll pop to fast forward here. Fast forward here.
2500.
Pop to our runway view now. Here comes our plane. Just running it in fast forward. And see it. The fast forward really brings out how much we are. The plane is moving around there, guys. There we go. So, runway 32 in a crosswind at Leeds Bradford Airport. Let us watch this landing, guys, and let us see how we did here. Mind your ears as we come overhead. There we go, 185 at Recon on replay. Let's see what the passengers thought as we run the replay from their perspective here. There we go, that flare, man. Luckily we catch that float right there. Get it down firmly, safely, but not a hard landing. That's a good landing. Below 200 feet per minute, 184 feet per minute, guys. We'll go once more from just this view here. There we go. See that flare? Losing a lot of height very quickly, but then we managed to float it in and plant her right there. Between 180 190 feet per minute. Fantastic. Guys, that will do us for today's regular Great British Flight Sim stream. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, guys, if you liked what you saw, a like would be very much appreciated. And remember to subscribe if you'd like. Thank you, Atul. Thank you very much there, my friend. There'll be more good landings coming up. And please subscribe if you'd like to see more Great British flights every Friday at 1 PM UTC. Until then, guys, take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon.